Good day, everyone. Our topic for today is all about solving quadratic equations by the quadratic formula. Another technique for solving quadratic equation is to use the quadratic formula. The formula is derived from completing the square of a general quadratic equation. A quadratic equation written in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, has a solutions. So it has a formula for this quadratic formula, and we have x equals negative b positive negative square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Example: 11n squared minus 9n equals 1. By the quadratic formula, we need to first transpose 1 to make our equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So it becomes 11, negative 9, and negative 1. So our a is 11, b is negative 9, c is negative 1. So substitute all of this into the formula. So I think there's something wrong here. This is x. So we have b, 9. Okay, it's negative 9. Positive negative square root of negative 9 squared minus 4, 11, negative 1 over 2 times 11 for the a. So next, we have, okay, negative 9 squared is 81. Then negative negative, that's positive 4 times 11 is 44. Again, this one is negative 9. Yeah, it's positive 9 because our formula is negative b. I'm sorry. Um, I'm wrong with that. And then 81 plus 44 is 125. Then, so we have, for the 125, we have 25 times 5, right? And 25 squared is 5. Square root of 5. Okay, did you get that? So again, for this one, we have the factors of 25 times 5. And as we all know, the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 5 is square root of 5. Okay, so another example. 1 over 8x squared plus x minus 5 over 2 equals 0. By quadratic formula, okay, so what I've done is multiply both sides by 8. So that is 8 divided 8 is 1 times 1 is 1x squared. In 8 times 1, there's no denominator here, so 8 times 1 is 8x. Then 8 divided 2 is 4 times 5 is 20 equals 0. So the a is 1, b is 8, and c is negative 20. So for this sample, we have negative 8 positive negative square root of 8 squared minus 4 times 1 minus 20 over 2 times 1. So we have 64 plus 80, and that is square root of 144. What is square root of 144? That's 12. So we have negative 8 positive negative 12 over 2, or we have negative 20 over 2 or 4 over 2, right? So pwedeng negative 8 minus 12 is negative 20 over 2, and negative 8 plus 12 is positive 4 over 2. So our final answers for the solution set for this particular quadratic equation is negative 10, because negative 20 divided 2 is negative 10, and 4 divided 2 is 2. So these are the values of x, negative 10 and positive 2. Okay? Another, solve for x quantity x plus 6 equals negative 30 by quadratic formula. First, we need to solve for this. So we have x squared plus 6x, because x times x is x squared, x times 6 is 6x, and then transpose negative 30 becomes positive 30. For the a, we have 1, b is 6, c is 30. So using quadratic formula, just substitute the given. And then 36 minus 120 is negative 84. So for this particular example, There's no real solution for this because our square root is negative 84, and probably we will get a imaginary number here. So there is another way to solve that, and that we call them a complex number. Okay, so there's no need to discuss here in this video presentation about complex number. The discriminant, the expression under the radical sign in the formula b squared minus 4ac is called the discriminant, if you still remember that formula in the quadratic equation. So there is the square root of b squared minus 4ac, right? So that b squared minus 4ac is what we call the discriminant. The discriminant will take on a value that is positive, 0 and negative. So the value of the discriminant indicates two distinct real solutions, one real solution or no real solution respectively. So use the discriminant to determine the number and the type of solution for the following equation. Number 1, 5 minus 4x plus 12x squared. So our A is 12. Yeah, B is equal to negative 4 and C is equal to 5. Now, for the discriminant, we have b squared minus 4ac, so we have negative 4 squared minus 4 times 12 times 5, and we have 16 minus 240, and the answer is negative 224. So there is no real solution because our answer is negative. Steps in solving quadratic equation. If the equation is in the form of ax plus b squared equals c, use the square root property to solve. If not solved in step 1, write the equation in standard form. Try to solve by factoring. If you haven't solved it yet, use the quadratic formula. Example, solve 12x equals 4x squared plus 4. So, okay, so we will substitute, I mean transpose 12x, so it will become 4x squared minus 12x plus 4. So we can do, okay, we just factor out 4. So 4 divided by 4 is 1, then x squared. 4 divided by 12 is 3, negative 3x, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. So a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 3, and c is equal to 1. So we can solve them using quadratic formula. And 9 minus 4 is square root of 5. So 3 positive negative square root of 5 over 2 will be our solution set for x. Solve the following quadratic equation. We have 5 over 8 m squared plus m minus 1 half. So multiply, um, multiply all the numbers by the denominator, the LCD. The LCD is 8, the biggest number. The LCD, the number that is divisible for 8 and 2. So 8, so if we have 8 here as our LCD, 8 divided 8 is 1 times 5 is 5m squared. 8 times 1 is 8m, and 8 divided 2 is 4 times 1 is 4. And we can factor out this by 5m minus 2 and 5 plus 2, right? Let's check. 5m times m is 5m squared. Negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. We have negative 2m for this, and we have here 10m. So negative 2m plus 10m is positive 8m. Okay. So the values for the so we have for the values of m, 5m minus 2 and m plus 2. So we have m equals 2 over 5 and m equals negative 2, right? I know you know how we come up with this, right? So we have this one, okay? So we have 5m, right? 5m, and then we transpose 2, that's why it become positive 2. Then divide both sides by 5. That's why our answer is m equals 2 over 5 because we cancel this 5. Okay, same with this. So we will just transpose positive 2, it becomes negative 2. Okay, that's all about for solving quadratic equations by the quadratic formula. With that, thank you very much for listening.